Hey, yeah, wow. Good morning. Oh, wow. It's -1 degrees out. It is cold. I'm going to very quickly grab a bathrobe. I will be right back. Okay, yeah, I'll be right back. Oh, yeah. Oh, whew, yeah. Whew. Oh, wow. Oh. Oh, yes. It is ice fucking cold. Literally. -1 degrees. Yeah. For those of you Americans down there who still use that funny outdated system, that's I think 31 Fahrenheit or something. Yeah. 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 Come on, join the rest of the civilized world. Use metric. Come on. Yeah. Anywho. Oh, yeah. So it is. Oh, October 26th, I believe. Yeah, October 26th. Yeah. It is Sunday morning, and oh, God. Yeah. Um, I'm a very thrilled individual. I'm a very happy individual. I'm going to be moving into a new house. Well, not a new house. It's 118 years old. But for me, it'll be a new house because I've never lived there. I bought a house, and let me tell you something about real estate. It is batshit fucking crazy. Real estate is batshit fucking crazy. Absolutely. Yeah. But I bought a house. And yeah, I am a happy camper. I am a happy, happy camper. Yeah. Yeah. So, anywho, I wanted to talk about the homelessness crisis that's going to get worse if Ontario Premier Doug Ford gets his way, because he's proposed a new policy, a new and brutal policy that will hurt millions of human beings. Both the homeless and the nearly homeless are going to suffer a lot more because Doug Ford has decided to be extra cruel this coming Christmas season. Yes, he really wants to get rid of what few protections the very poor have. People who live in subsidized housing because they cannot afford market rent, because they're living on a disability pension or an old age pension or a war widow's pension or a veteran's pension. Yeah, I want you to think about that. Veteran's pension. You know that guy who lost 2 legs in Iraq? Yeah, him. Yeah, all those people are going to be homeless because Doug Ford wants to privatize all the public housing. Yeah, and I know how much right-wingers love to say, support the troops, support the troops. But are you really supporting them? If that support ends when they come off of an airplane in a wheelchair with a Distinguished Service Order and a Victoria Cross and no legs, are you really supporting them? Honestly. But Doug Ford, who has performatively played a patriot in recent months dealing with the Americans and their threats to annex Canada, has nevertheless decided that our country's disabled veterans should just fuck off and die somewhere. Because, yeah, subsidized housing apparently is for suckers and pussies. Yeah. Now, as a person who owns their home, I am no longer going to be affected by this. Once I'm moved into that house, I will be fine. I will never have to worry about being made homeless by the government's decision to get rid of subsidized housing. Pardon me. But that's me. I have good legs. I have 2 good legs, and I work. I work at a restaurant. I work at the best restaurant in 3 counties. The one and only Gray's Boot and Blade Family Restaurant. Beautiful place. Yeah, if you're looking for a Big Mac and fries, go someplace else, because we don't do that shit. We do real food. Trust me, I know. I make it. Thank you. Yeah. But in any case, the disabled veterans who are going to be put out on the street by Doug Ford's decision to get rid of subsidized housing in Ontario, to privatize it and charge market rents. Yeah, those people, those disabled veterans, those war widows that are going to be made homeless, I want you to think about those. If you're a conservative supporter and you chant, support the troops a lot, I suggest very strongly that you have a little chat with your conservative MPP about his future in politics if he votes in favor of Doug Ford's decision to screw over Canada's veterans in the province of Ontario, to screw over Canada's war widows in the province of Ontario. Yeah. Have a little chat with them. Have a big chat with them. Get all your friends together and go to their constituency office and tell them, no. No. You are not going to privatize subsidized public housing. Not happening. And I say that as a person who owns a house now that I'm about to move into. I'm not going to be making videos from this rented balcony anymore. I'm going to be making videos from the back porch of a house that I own. Yes. And still, I care about the plight of disabled veterans who rely upon subsidized public housing to avoid being homeless. And yeah, to all you conservatives out there who want to make sure that there is no subsidized housing and use homeless veterans as your reason why subsidized housing should be gotten rid of, homeless veterans are an ever-growing problem. And while the guy with no legs is in no danger of kicking you in the crotch, although I'd love to see that, a crotch punch to a conservative who wants to get rid of subsidized housing from a crippled veteran in a wheelchair who has no legs, that would be fun to watch. Yes. There you go. Yeah. I will remind you that our disabled veterans are disabled and they need services that help them. Services that Doug Ford is canceling in Ontario, and also services that Pierre Poilievre wants to cancel federally. So if you still want to, with credibility, say, support the troops, you need to start supporting them after they come home with no legs. By making sure that there are programs available for disabled people and subsidized housing available for people who cannot work. Disabled people who cannot work. And yes, there will be a very vanishingly few, corrupt and lazy individuals who will slip through and exploit the system. They do exist, yes, they do exist. And I would rather let a few of them abuse the system than see thousands of disabled veterans begging on the streets and sleeping in doorways. But of course, if you are a conservative supporter, the exact opposite is true. You would rather see thousands of disabled veterans abandoned just to stick it to the one or two guys who could work but are just lazy. You want to stick it to the people who need help in order to hurt the people who abuse the system. And you make more money than I do. I'm buying a little tiny house. It's itty bitty. It's a 2-bedroom bungalow. Has a beautiful backyard, though. I gotta say this. Oh yeah, beautiful, beautiful backyard. Okay. Yeah, but it's tiny, very tiny. Your house is bigger than mine. Your car is bigger than mine. Well, my car is a bicycle. Yeah, a 30-year-old bicycle. Yeah. What are you driving now? 2 or 3 SUVs? You flip between them? Yeah, well. You're making more money than I do. You can afford to pay more taxes. And you're a stingier bastard than I could ever be. Because you would rather throw under the bus all those disabled veterans and all those war widows than allow 1 or 2 people to abuse the system. Whereas me, I would rather see 1 or 2 people abuse the system than see our disabled veterans and our war widows thrown under the bus. We are polar fucking opposites. And that's why you are a conservative and I am a fucking socialist. Yeah, I'm a fucking socialist. I want our disabled veterans to be able to have affordable housing. I want our war widows to have affordable housing. And I want our mentally handicapped to have affordable housing. And I want our victims of skiing accidents to have affordable housing. And I want our battered wives to have affordable housing when they escape from their abusive husbands. I want our minimum wage workers to have affordable housing instead of having to live in their cars or live in a tent behind Walmart. I want people to have affordable housing. And I say this as a person who now owns a fucking house. We need to have affordable housing for people who cannot afford a house and who will never be able to afford a house and who will never be able to make market rent. We need subsidized housing for them. And no, I don't benefit from this. I will never benefit from this. But the people who do benefit from this and who need this These are my fellow human beings. My fellow human beings. And if you cannot wrap your head around this, that they are your fellow human beings, and I say this as somebody who owns a house now, I would gladly pay property taxes that go towards making sure that there is affordable housing for people who need it. The same way that I'm glad to pay property taxes that pay for schools, even though I don't have children in school. That pay for parks that I'm never going to go to. That pay for health care that I might not benefit from. I might not need that particular operation. But I'm glad that anybody who needs it can get it, because we have subsidized public health care, subsidized public education, subsidized public parks, and yes, subsidized public housing. Because even though I might never need those things, well, I will need public health care. I will need public health care because I'm pushing 60. But as for the rest, I'm not going to benefit from that directly. But I still want my tax dollars to go towards it. Because the people who do benefit from it are my fellow human beings, and I might never meet them, I might never know them, I might never learn their names, but they are my fellow human beings. And I am just not a selfish fucking prick. I'm buying a house. I'm going to be paying property taxes. I want those property taxes to go towards social programs that help people who will never be able to afford to buy a house. I don't want my taxes to go towards a brand new jet airliner specifically reserved for members of parliament. I don't want that. Make the bastards fly commercial. Make them fly coach. Make them fly economy class with the rest of us grubby fucking proletariats. Absolutely. But I am gung-ho enthusiastic to pay for social programs to help people at the very fucking bottom who need the help just to survive. I will gladly pay property taxes for that. Because I'm a socialist.